much, Monica. Guess what? I'm going to ask you a question about. Well, let's put it in more general frame. It seems sort of contradictory to think of a stem cell having high T3 activity because you're going to be generating ROS, you're going to be stimulating mitochondrial metabolism, which is not associated with stem cell characteristics. So, one mustn't be simplistic about these things. I agree, and it's always the unexpected that leads us somewhere. But have you looked at the metabolic state? Have you used any markers?
No, we did not, and that's something that we would like to do. Of course, I agree with you. This is really seems to be contradictory, and we do not have any explanation on the metabolic part. So this result really, this is something that we are keeping observing not only in muscle but also in other tissue. I don't know whether we observe that, for example, in the skin, D2 is located really in the bulge, which is the place where the of the most quiescent cells are located. So why this is true, I don't know, but we are also interested in the metabolic aspect.
And people haven't looked in the skin at the metabolic state of those stem cells?
No.
Have they looked at targets, T3 targets in those cells?
D2 target. So
no, T3 targets.
T3 target.
Yeah,
no. One thing is that there was one paper, I don't remember exactly the paper, in which somebody else, probably Rando, which is one of the most important person who studies the stem cells of satellite cells, he performed a sort of an array. He found also very high levels of TR alpha. That's something that we also observed. So it looks like that probably many thyroid hormone, but we have not looked at yet. We measure the transporter and the receptor.
You've measured the transporter too?
And the receptor. But you know what? We measure also, sorry, I completely forgot, but it's in the cell metabolism paper. We measure some thyroid hormone target genes, like FOXO or like some others, I don't remember which one. And they were also higher in the most quiescent cells. So,
okay. All right, well, we can continue afterwards. Okay.
Just to add something to what Monica just told, the quiescent cells doesn't mean that are metabolically inactive. This is counterintuitive. The quiescent cells are metabolic very active. And this, I was surprised to read that, but this is the truth. So the metabolic state within a quiescent cells is not turned off. On the contrary, there is an highly metabolic state, probably because it's necessary to have the cells ready to start. So it's not a differentiated cells in which everything is somehow
but it's a different type it's a different type of metabolism.
Yeah, we should address better this question. Of course, probably the reviewers will ask.
Monica, very nice talk. I was wondering, these satellite cells during development of the muscle are depleted. Are there groups that are working on pushing back muscle cells into satellite cells that have already been differentiated, or is that impossible, or stem cell development that can be...
already differentiated satellite cells are not anymore able to go back. But so the number of satellite cells drops dramatically with the age, but there are still niches, so you can, of course, still have satellite cells also in the adult muscle. Of course, the percentage is really different, but even in the adult, even in the old
I was referring to this Duchenne phenotype that is really using all the satellite cells up, more or less.
Yeah. So no, in the Duchenne phenotype, at some point, the pool is completely lost. So what people is trying to do is to interfere with the amplification or regeneration, or, of course, the other way is just the injection of external cells. And what makes really different this kind of intervention is that you have to reach all the muscle of the body. It's not that, so that's really dramatic because you should inject, I don't know how many cells, but so that's the thing, and that's why so many groups are trying to improve the self-renewal ability of the cell instead of injecting wild-type cells.
Thank you for your explanation.
So any further question? Barbara, you still have a question? Okay, 2,000 points for you.
I just want to be self-critical. You know, I've got this thing in my mind about stem cells not having thyroid hormone, but that's because I probably work on the brain. And let's think about, you know, skin, you've got stem cells all over the place. In every follicle, you've got a stem cell. In the muscle, in every fiber, you've got a group of stem cells. It's not the case in the brain. So I think we're probably, that's just why I'm saying I'm being self-critical. I think I'm probably being oversimplistic when I'm trying to find a one-size-fits-all with this stem cell story. And I think that in the same way that neurons don't express D2 because they're always, you know, a neuron is a cell, a post-mitotic cell in a state of reprieve. It's got to last, most of the cells have got to last the lifetime of the organism. So they don't express D2. Well, that would be a bit sort of finalistic to, you know, to say, well, no D2, it's the astrocytes that give them their supply of T3 every day. And, you know, keep it down, keep your metabolism down. But in the skin and in the muscle, you've obviously got a totally different situation.
Maybe an explanation, yes.